I don't really know how else to explain this, except that if you want to make a lot of money and have freedom at the same time, you just need to understand what I'm going to explain over the next few minutes, what I'm going to share with you, the secrets that people that make a lot of money and have a lot of freedom use that they don't necessarily share with you. And so let's go ahead and look at something. So one of the jobs that I had is I was a car salesman. And the manager of the car salesman lot was making between $250,000 and $300,000 a year. Right? Not a ton of money. Right? I obviously would not consider that rich, but you know, that's not bad. That is getting really close to being the 1%. You know, to being in the 1% of the richest people. However, he had to deal with some stress, and I guess there's nothing wrong with stress if you're making money, but another big problem he had is he was always away from his family. He could not spend as much time as he wanted with his family. Why? Because he had to work like 70 plus hours a week. He was at the car lot like, you know, pretty much all the time. So he was making good money, but he didn't have freedom, as I like to call it, because he was spending this, you know, pretty much most of his life working. He was spending more hours a week working at the fucking job than anything else. So let's go ahead and examine why this is, because I need you guys to understand this. This guy was making money, but his income was tied directly to him being there and him performing. You guys understand this? Do you kind of get this? So let me explain something else. So one of the businesses I had, as some of you guys know, is I had a detail shop. And this detail shop, not we, because I never detailed a car. I don't know how to detail cars. I've seen people detail cars, because I've seen the people I hire detail cars, but I don't know anything about detailing cars. This detail shop that I started it with two other guys. We split everything third. After about 6 months, I was making over $2,000 a week in profit from the detail shop, working about 12 hours a week. Now, why was I able to do this? And by the way, the work I was doing was not that hard. So I would wake up at, 10 or 11 o'clock. I'd get to the detail shop at around 11 o'clock-ish, right? I mean, guys, I'm the boss. I can get there whenever I want to get there. And then I would hang out there for a few hours, and then I'd usually leave around 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and then I would go to the park, or I'd go get a massage, or I'd go get some food, or I'd go to the mall and blow some money, or I'd go to the movies, or sometimes I would take my sisters to the mall and I'd blow a bunch of money on them, or sometimes I'd just go buy my parents some stuff, like my dad likes wine, but he likes to buy the cheap wine, and my dad, he does okay for himself, but he likes to buy the cheap wine. My dad says that sometimes he gets headaches from the wine because it's so cheap. So I like to go, because he gets like, $15 bottles. So, I like to go and I like to buy him like $100, $120 bottles, because A, it makes me feel good, and B, he likes it, and C, it tastes better, and D, he doesn't have a headache from drinking really cheap wine, right? So I just kind of do what I want. While I was at the detail shop, though, I was just kind of going over some of the paperwork. So why are there people out there that make $100,000 a year or less that work more than 12 hours a week like me? Because, and here's the key, here's the secret, here's what you need to get. My income was not directly related to me performing. I put systems and people in place to run the detail shop for me. Now, it wasn't fully automated. I still had to be there about 12. I was there about 12 hours a week. I could have probably only needed to be there about 5. But it wasn't fully automated. But it was somewhat automated. So it was at the point to where I only had to be there, no more than a dozen hours a week, and the business was running itself. And while I was there, I was looking at the paperwork, I was looking at the numbers, I was taking all the checks and going to the bank. So the work I was doing was not really wasn't tedious, it was not hard. What you want to do is you need to make sure that whatever you're doing to make money, you separate yourself from what you're doing to make money. So you can't really do this if you have a job. In fact, you can't do this if you have a job. If you have a job, you are trading your time for money. And if you have a job, look at me. In order for you to get paid, you got to go somewhere. You're either on salary or you're hourly, so you clock the fuck in. But you have to be there and you have to perform. You have to trade part of your life for money, which is not that cool because no one wants, why would you want to do that? Now, there's not a problem if you're doing that now, but what you need to do is you need to take a step back. You need to observe your life. And some people don't do this. They get so caught up in the momentum that is their life, they don't have a chance to stop and observe what they're doing. And then they wind up like most people. They're laying on their deathbed. They're 85 years old. They're like, fuck, I felt like all I did was work. Well, yeah, because you got to take a step back, and that's why sometimes like watching these videos is good because it breaks you out of your habit of the mindset that, kind of your daily routine. It gets you to think about some things that you're probably not going to think about. You're probably not going to see a video like this on TV, right? You're probably not going to hear these words if you're listening to the radio. They're probably talking about bullshit or gossip or some stupid shit, right? So, how can you separate what you're doing from the income source? And that's why, by the way, I like and I have a passion for making money online, because a lot of money-making opportunities, a lot of them are scams, by the way, but if you take all the scams and bullshit, and as you guys know, I've tried a lot of them, you put all those aside, there are a handful of very legit ways you can make lots of money online that's very sustainable, very secure, and it's very automated, because you have to think about it. A lot of times, if you're doing a business online, there is automatically systems or programs that help you automate the business, or just the nature of the business is automated. I got this guy, I guess you could call him, he's kind of became a friend, but he started off as just an acquaintance that brings in very good money on eBay. He brings in about $1,000 a day on eBay, but he only works 1 hour a day. Why is that? Because he basically, and I can't really explain the whole business that he has to you in this video, but basically what he does is he posts an item on eBay. And by the way, he never has to store the item or ship the item, so it's no risk to him. He posts an item on eBay, and then the item literally stays on eBay forever. And anytime somebody buys the item, he presses a couple buttons and gets the item from wherever it is shipped. But he can continuously sell the same item over and over again. Just like if you were to go to, the Apple store, they got, and you buy a case for your the new iPhone. There's not just one case, there's multiple cases. When they could have a gazillion people buy cases, they're going to have a gazillion more cases. They just got to put the cases out there. So what my buddy did is he, over a long period of time, figured out everything, and then he is at the point now to where he's got this business set up, and everything is automated for him. It's not even that he uses a couple programs, but it's not even that he has to really use the programs or that it's that hard, because it's the nature of how the business is structured. He actually doesn't even do it anymore. He has this part outsourced too, but when he was working, right, he would take an item, he would post it on eBay, and then that item is there forever. While he's sleeping, while he's going to the gym, while he's on a date, people are looking at his item that he posted on eBay, and then people are occasionally buying the item. Now, he didn't get rich posting one item, but he's got, over time, guys, he's built up and he's got a large list of items for people to look at. So now, he's got a gazillion items. They're all there. They're all staying there. They're never going anywhere. And whenever somebody buys an item, he hits a few buttons, the item gets shipped to them, and then he makes some money. He'll make, it kind of depends. He'll make, maybe $5 to $30 roughly, depending on the item. So it's kind of cool, right? You know, there's times that we'd be together and he'd be like, oh, yep, another sale came in. And 10 minutes later, oh, yep, look, another sale came in. He'd show me on his phone. It actually makes a ching-ching sound on eBay, so it's kind of cool. Anyway, guys, what you need to do is you need to figure out how you can implement this into your life. And if you don't do this, the problem is if you don't do this, you're always going to be stuck with maybe making money, maybe making good money, but not having time. That's not what we want. We want to make sure that you're making lots of money. At the same time, you have lots of time. We want to detach yourself from the income source and put people and or systems in place to automate the entire process. That way you have lots of money coming in, but on top of that, you have freedom. You have time to do the things you want to do, to spend time with the people you want to spend time with, and really live the life that you want to live. If you've heard of Tim Ferriss's 4-hour work week, this is essentially what he did. He was making about $80,000 a month, and he went on vacation for like a handful of months. He never touched his business, and his business actually, it either stayed the same, I believe it grew, because he detached himself. He had a lot of people that were working, and he put his people in place strategically to where they could run the whole business, and then he had systems in place behind that. Put people and systems in place. Automate your entire business. You got to have a business, and then you can live the life others only dream of. Oh, and of course, if you guys like this video, make sure you subscribe because, well, I'm always putting out new goodies for you. Bye for now.